All right, guys, so we're back. What is going on? So right now I'm on the way to Walmart to pick up some groceries. It's a Saturday, just got done work. But today's topic is basically hitting minimum spends. So let me get going real quick. This road's kind of iffy, but basically for the past 3.5 years since I started doing this whole credit card game thing, I've applied and been approved for 25 credit cards, which I know sounds a lot for my age since I'm only 22, but basically I've been able to earn probably over 1 million points at this point, which has allowed me to travel essentially for free. So I've been able to get flights to Hawaii, which I'm going to next month actually, completely for free, which is, I mean, that's just really awesome. Flights to Puerto Rico for free. I got my stay at Puerto Rico completely for free on points. So, you know, these credit cards, they just allow you to get a bunch of value, mainly through their sign-up bonuses. But I've heard a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of people that say they just don't have the spend required in order to hit these sign-up bonuses. Say the Chase Sapphire Preferred, now $5,000 minimum spend for 75,000 points. Some people aren't able to hit that in 3 months, or so they think. So basically, I'm just hoping this video can kind of convince you that there are definitely ways to hit that spend that maybe you're just not thinking about. Come on. All right. Hopefully the camera doesn't move too much. But basically, I have about, 6 or 7 tips of how to hit the minimum spend when maybe your natural spend isn't enough to hit it organically. So, tip number 1, I have it written down right here, so I can reference it, but tip number 1, which I've actually got a lot of spend on my cards through, is I was a Tostitos truck. I don't know why they're honking, but I've been able to put a lot of spend on my cards through getting dinner with friends, because a lot of people, honestly, they kind of like when you put your card down, so it's easier for the waiter because they don't have to split it into each person of what they got, and then it also helps out other people. They just like it. They don't have to pull their card out right away. So I calculate it, I send it to them, how much they owe, and then they Venmo me. So through this, I've been able to put a lot of spend on my cards. I remember one time I went to the Cheesecake Factory with my friend for his birthday. He ended up inviting like 20 people, and the bill came out to like $600. I believe that was on the American Express Gold sign-up bonus at the time. So, I mean, that earned me the sign-up bonus, the spend towards the sign-up bonus, as well as 4x points. Also, the Cheesecake Factory that has a $10 credit there. So anyways, that was really cool. Another example I can think of is, if you guys know Sledge Inc. team, shout out to you, Sledge. For this past credit card meetup in Puerto Rico, we went to Fogo de Chao for the last day. And I think the bill ended up being like $2,100 for everybody, and we just let Sledge put it on his card. And I think he was working towards the, what was it? The upgrade offer to the American Express Platinum from the Gold, which I think was 50,000 points for $2,000 worth of spend. So in one transaction, he hit the minimum spend just for like putting the whole dinner on his card. And so basically I'm the only one in my friend group that does this, but say you're in a setting with a lot of individuals that have credit cards that want to hit sign-up bonuses, I mean, that's kind of what we did at Puerto Rico. So like I did one dinner, Sledge did another, I think Anthony Venture did one. But basically doing it this way, everybody, Juan from MIA too, shout out to you. But basically everybody put it on their card once, so everybody's getting a little piece of the pie, working towards their own credit card goals. So yeah, if you have friends that have credit cards, then obviously don't be a hog with it, let them do it sometimes. But in my case, everybody just assumes that I'm putting it on my card, which I'm totally fine with. I like earning the points, cash back, sign-in bonus, what have you. But yeah, so that's one very lucrative way. So, I mean, don't go out of your way to plan a dinner with friends. I mean, you should always hang out with your friends here and there, but like, don't go out your way to go to Fogo de Chao for an $80 dinner. I think it was $88 per person, that you weren't going to spend anyway, because, I don't know, that's kind of a waste. But, I mean, even sometimes I've gone out to breakfast while we were on vacation. I ate prior so I could save some money, and then I still put my card down. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. Just, you could definitely get a lot of value out of that. So my next point here, sorry, I kind of went a little long on that, but my next tip is, if you have trips or travel planned with friends, family, anything of the sort, the camera's moving a little bit, but if you're planning a trip, you could ask if you could pay for their flights, for the hotel, even some activities. And this is exactly what I did for my Disney trip last year. So basically, I think I was working on 3 different sign-up bonuses, like the Hilton Honors Business Card, American Express Platinum Upgrade Offer, and this was the $125K for $6,000 to spend. And I think the Sapphire Preferred 100,000 point offer. And I mean, I was able to hit this in the span of a couple months, and that was like $10,000 worth of spend or something. Thank you. But yeah, so I put all of the flights, most of them, I think 2 of my friends that are kind of getting in the credit cards now, shout out to you guys. But besides them, I put all of everybody's flights on my card, and then I had people pay me back. So that was like maybe $2,500, $2,700 worth of spend just for people's flights. And then I booked, and this is like for 8 people, by the way, so it's a lot. And then I also booked our Disney tickets, which, you know, can get expensive. I think it was like $600, $656 actually, I believe, per person for, I think it was like 4 or 5 park days. And yeah, so I did that for, I think, myself, obviously, and then maybe 5 to 6 other people, and then like the other 2 also wanted to just put on their cards. But I mean, that alone, that was, do the math, 6 times 5, like another $3,000, even more probably. So, you know, if you're traveling with friends, or just even, you know, doing really anything with friends, you can ask to put it on your card. Worst thing they can do is say no. But if they say yes, I mean, that's just extra spend that you get to use towards working towards your points. But as for tip number 3, it is asking friends or family to put their bills on your credit card. Now, this might be a little controversial, I don't know. I'm a little annoying with it, to the point where like, I'm like talking to my sister, asking to put her Geico on my credit card. You know, it's a little unnecessary, but I don't think she minds too much. And that's an additional $276 or something. No, $239 every single month. So say you need to hit a minimum spend in 3 months, that's an additional almost $700 out of thin air for something they're paying for anyway. Obviously, only do this if you can trust the people. Also, if you know any of your friends or family coming up with big expenses, I mean, my parents are the best with this. They really just let me put everything on my credit card. I have our T-Mobile on there, car insurance, and literally, like I was talking about in last video, we just got a roof. and I think that was just over $10,000. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get approved for any cards, so I wasn't able to hit a sign-up bonus. But luckily, I did have the Hilton Surpass card, so I was able to. I already had $5,000 worth of spend on it. So with that roof alone, I don't know if I hit the free night certificate or I'm like $200 away, which I'll be able to hit that in no time. But with just a roof alone, that's definitely not my spend. I don't own a house. It's my parents' spend, but they allowed me to put it on my credit card in order to get a free night certificate with Hilton. In addition to the points and stuff, I also used some of the roof spend for my Hilton Honors card to get closer to that sign-up bonus of 70K points and a free night certificate. Some might think it's annoying or pushy, but you know, I'm out here just trying to travel for free, and it's one of the biggest reasons I've been able to hit so many sign-up bonuses. I remember my first big sign-up bonus was the American Express Business Gold. It was $10,000 worth of spend in 3 months, and I remember I put it in one of the Discords, but I saw the link for it, 200,000 points for $10,000 to spend in 3 months, and I was like, I am pacing around my room right now, because I was 21 at the time, or even 20. I was like, how is a 20-year-old about to hit $10,000 worth of spend in 3 months? And somehow I knocked it out in 2 months. And it's kind of just with these tips that I've talked about so far and the ones I'm going to talk about, that it's just really attainable, more than you would think. I mean, now obviously if you don't have any friends, then you're kind of SOL there, but for the most part, I mean, it really helps. On to number 4. Consider paying your rent or mortgage with a credit card. Now, I'm not talking about the Built card here, unless you're going for that sign-up bonus. Actually, I don't think that even goes towards that. But no, I'm just talking about putting on a non-Built card, put your rent or mortgage on it. I forget the exact way to do this. I'm pretty sure you could actually just do it through Built. I know Anthony Venture has a good portion of videos and stuff on that. But basically, it's an expense you have anyways, and obviously conventionally this goes just through your bank account. And if you use a credit card, you are gonna have to pay a 3% fee. But if you really want to get these points, I think a 3% fee is well worth. What's a good example? You have the American Express Gold card. If you can snag that 100K offer for $6,000 worth of spend, I don't know the exact percentage on that, but we'll say like 15 to 20% return on spend, and that's really 15 to 20x. So if you can get a higher redemption for that, like 2 cents per point, you can get upwards of 40% back for paying a 3% fee. So obviously you are paying more cash, so if you're not into that idea, that's completely fine. But if you are willing to spend some cash in order to essentially buy points, I mean, it's a great way to do it. And I mean, you're obviously getting a lot of points for the amount of cash you're spending. So, you know, if you're not able to hit minimum spends in a more organic way, consider doing it through your rent or mortgage. Now, tip number 5, this is for my college students, which I am, and that is consider putting your tuition on a credit card. Now, again, like rent or mortgage, you're gonna get charged a 3% fee, but like I said, it's well worth it if you're getting a 15 to 20% return on spend or more. And I've been doing this essentially since I got credit cards. When I was doing, I think the first card I did it on was the Chase Inc. Unlimited, like at the end of 2023, because before that it was just like I got the Discover, which doesn't have a minimum spend, Blue Cash Every Day, and Freedom Unlimited. They're all really low minimum spend, so it wasn't really a concern. But this was my first time I had to hit $6,000 worth of spend in 3 months. So I just put my tuition on the card, and I was able to knock that down really easily. because I pay about $1,800 a month for tuition, or about $8,000 a semester. So that's another big reason I'm able to hit all of these minimum spends basically like it's nothing, because I have that plus everything I've already talked about. So again, even though you're paying a 3% fee, it's well worth it. Now, tip number 6 is actually prepaying for bills. So basically, you're gonna spend anyways, just in a couple months, but then you're also saving yourself those expenses in a couple months. So if you have the extra cash lying around to be able to prepay these bills, that's another way to easily knock down minimum spend. You could do this with car insurance, utilities. You can even do it with a gym membership. Say your annual fee is coming up or whatever. Even a monthly fee, but my monthly fee is only like $10. But say I want to pay for the entire year, that's like $120. And that helps towards a sign-up bonus. So I don't know, some gym memberships can get crazy. Mine is straight up $10.65 after tax. But I remember at the old LA Fitness I was going to, it was like $43 a month. So imagine that times 12. It definitely adds up. So for money that you're going to be spending anyways, this is definitely a more creative way to hit minimum spend, but I mean, it's very effective. And the last tip, tip number 7, is a last resort. That's why I'm putting it at the end, because most of you guys already clicked off, but for the people that are still here, it's gift cards. So tread very lightly with this, because I know a lot of banks can be strict with buying credit cards. I know a lot of people abuse it and just get non-stop gift cards on their credit cards that hit a lot of bonuses. That's definitely not my forte, and I wouldn't recommend doing that, because you could possibly get shut down, and then your points just evaporate basically. But say you go to Target, you could just grocery shop like normal, or Walmart, which is actually where I'm going to, like I said. But say you're going to one of them, you could just grocery shop like normal. Then, you know, maybe add a little $100, $200 gift card. Who's to say that they'll ever know? Now, I know there are a couple instances where they can actually tell what you pay for individually. So like, even if you have like 30 different items and then have a gift card, they can tell the gift card amount. So obviously do your research on that. But overall, I mean, I've been able to pay for like $200 Amazon gift cards here and there. So say you want to use your Chase Freedom Flex to get 3x at drugstores, you could go to a CVS or a Walgreens, and you could get an Amazon gift card, get 3x on that, then just load it into your Amazon account, and boom, you get 3x on your Amazon purchases. Now, I feel like that's a younger man's game. I know I'm only 22, but I did that for maybe 3 months, and then I just settled to get a normal rate, because it's just too much work. I'm not trying to drive like 6 minutes to a CVS or Walgreens just to get a couple more points per dollar spent. But I know a lot of people do it. And if you're trying to hit minimum spend and you tried everything else on this list and you still, for some godforsaken reason, can't hit the minimum spend, you know, a gift card here and there throughout the 3 or 6 months you're hitting the bonus, it'll definitely help. So hopefully with this video, I helped convince you guys a little bit that these credit card sign-up bonus minimum spends are more attainable than you think. $10,000 in 3 months for a 21-year-old, it shouldn't be possible, but just using some creative methods that I've listed out in this video, you know, man, it just helps. I've been able to go so many places already. I'm also going to Colorado, flights completely for free. And I mean, I'm set out to go so many more places. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do LA this summer. But, you know, these credit card points, they are, I know there's been a lot of devaluations and stuff, but I still think it's one of the best ways to save money while living your life, you know, because at my age, it's not easy to spend $600 on a round trip flight. I can't just throw around money like that. I know some people can, but you know, I'm trying to save money, and I have tuition to pay for, groceries, gas, all that. So with these credit cards, I'm actually able to travel and experience things that I probably wouldn't be able to, or at least wouldn't be able to as much. And you know, it's just a blessing. So I think right now is still a great time to be in the credit card game. It's probably only going to go downhill from here, honestly. So, you know, take advantage of everything you can. But yeah, that's about it. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend and good week if you're watching it. Good night. I don't know if you're eating right now, about to go to sleep, about to wake up, start your day. Either or. Hope it was a great day. Hope you have a great day. Have a good sleep, all of that, and have fun. But yeah, that's it. See you guys.